Hi.
Hey.
I'm Kim. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Baraka.
Baraka, nice to meet you. One more time. Do you mind if I take notes during this meeting?
Definitely.
Great. Well, I'm so glad you could join me. Did you get something to drink? Did my secretary help you out there?
She offered, yes. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, good. Well, let's talk a little bit about you. So what brings you here?
So my family's moving here to Lubbock.
Oh, welcome to Lubbock.
Thank you, yeah. Just got a new job, so just making some adjustments. Lucy, I don't know if you remember Lucy, she lives in New Orleans now. She said she graduated with you. She actually recommended you.
Oh, that's right, Lucy. Yeah, I mean, we met here at Tech, but, oh.
Yeah, so she was actually taking care of us
That's
there.
awesome.
Yeah, and so she recommended you and said that you might be able to help, and I'm just trying to kind of get stuff situated before we make the big move.
Oh, do you have a wife?
Yeah, I have a wife and a son. She's actually taking care of him. She couldn't make it. She's very much involved and will be at any other meeting. This was just me kind of touching base and while I was in town and wanting to meet with you. But yeah, her name's Nancy.
Okay.
She just takes care of our boy, so yeah, she's there with him right now.
Great. Well, I mean, we do like to usually have the meetings as couples. It just helps everyone stay on the same page. But I think, since she's not in town right now, I'm happy to do this meeting, and then we can, of course, restart or start again when she gets back into town.
Yeah, that sounds good. Lucy had the same rule, and we definitely agree with that. She just has to take care of it. He takes a lot of attention, so unless we can travel and it be something easy, which it's usually not, she just has to stay. And like I said, this was just a short trip.
Yeah. And so you're just visiting Lubbock, or?
Right. So I'm looking houses. This is a pre-move trip. It was me coming out here. Just got the job at a bank. Actually going to be a CFO of People's Bank. I don't know if you know People's
congrats.
Bank. Yeah, so I was coming to fill out some paperwork that was necessary and take care of some other things and look at the landscape and see what we got coming for us.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'm sure with moving, there's a lot of things on that checklist. So you said you have a son. How old is he?
Nick, 23.
Cool.
He's 23.
And he lives at home with you?
He does. He's mentally disabled and completely handicapped as well. So that's what I was saying with Nancy taking care of him. It's kind of a full-time job for her, and traveling's not an easy thing. So.
Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, I have 2 kids, and they're a handful to say the least for just all the other things that go along with that. So I'm sure that makes things a little bit interesting in your life. Kids are such a joy, though. Every kid is so unique. And
these are a world.
Kids, I mean, what would you do without them?
I don't know.
So, well, I mean, since he does have the extra needs, what are some of your concerns there in terms of with the move? I mean, do you have a current caregiver or healthcare provider that you're looking at?
So we definitely have healthcare, and I just filled out some paperwork with my new job as far as what new insurance I have.
Yeah.
I should look at
and I'm happy to help you review some of that paperwork and get you set up. I mean, we have some good hospitals here in Lubbock. I mean, a lot of people end up going through Covenant, but I mean, that's not your only option, so.
Great.
And I mean, I'm happy to put together a list of, sort of people to help out, just to give you sort of the lay of the land.
That would be extremely helpful.
I know that some people prefer in-home help, sometimes just daycare, just to help out in terms of giving your wife a break.
Right. She doesn't like to take too many breaks. Like I said, he's our world, and that probably counts twice over for her. She is with him 24/7 and cares for him. So we've never had a separate caregiver other than when we need to make trips to the hospital or to his physician. But other than that, Nancy is his everything as well. So
that's a tough job.
It is. She definitely has a lot on her shoulders, but she loves it. She loves him.
She doesn't. Nick is her full-time job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can only imagine. Well, and okay, so I'm happy to help out with healthcare there, and yeah. So I mean, what else are you concerned about with the move? I mean, I know that there's
right. So like the adjustment, as far as healthcare, as we talked about the house, we're still talking about the house and what move we need to make. Our house in Louisiana we had the fortune of actually being able to design and build our own house. Back then, a smaller house. So we're trying to figure out, do we need to do that again to make sure that Nick has all the things in the house and is able to get around the way he should? Or do we need to search for a house that has those things? Or do we need to rent until we figure it out? We're kind of up in the air about all of that.
Yeah. That does sound like there's a lot of things to consider. How long do you think you'll... Are you going to stay in Lubbock? Is this like a permanent move? Do you think you're going to go back to Louisiana? I'm just thinking in terms of housing, but also in terms of just all the adjustments.
I don't see myself leaving Lubbock soon. I'm very proud of the position. I've worked my whole life to get to that level, so wherever God wants me, but I believe that I'll probably be here for a good while. It seems like a permanent situation.
Okay. Do you think you'll retire here? Do you think, how do you imagine sort of that future?
I'm not sure if retirement's an option, to be honest. Nancy's full-time job is Nick, so I'm bringing in whatever we have to spend. Nick takes a lot of expenses. Excuse me. Due to just the medical care and what he needs and what he deserves. So honestly, crunching the numbers just briefly in my head, I'm not sure if I'll retire unless something changes. I would like to retire. I'd like to be able to travel with my wife. I'd like to show her some things since she's been dedicating the last 23 years to taking care of our boy. I really want her to be able to have a break and reward her for all of her hard work. Yeah.
Have you gotten to travel a lot? Has she gotten very much of a break?
Traveling's not fun. With the situation that we have to deal with. It's it ends up being more work for her than a vacation. So I don't like to put her through that. I'd rather have time off, but like I said, I try to work as much as possible without bleeding into family time because we have to have the funds to take care of him.
I know that kind of care can be very expensive. I'm happy to help review those numbers. That's part of what we'll do here is review those numbers and see if retirement or what what you can afford and kind of work towards that. If money wasn't an object, when would you want to retire?
I'd say probably in the next 10 years. So 56 now, probably around 65 would be a great time to still have energy to do things with my wife and travel without myself needing diapers. So
okay, that's good to know. When you talk about your other goals like traveling and kind of taking a break like that, what's sort of the timeline there? Is that something? Do you want to tell me a little bit about your visions for travel in the future?
Yeah, so my wife and I actually met at Louisiana State University, so...
Go Tigers!
Yeah, go Tigers, for sure. We haven't been able to make it back to games, and those are some of our fondest memories before life got really real. So we definitely want to make it back to some games in retirement, if that's the thing. And as far as travel... I just want to take her to some pretty cool places. So in my mind, they're going to be somewhat expensive trips, but I mean, I don't know if that's something that's actually possible. I just want her to be able to see that she's had one track mind for the last however many years of just putting her all into taking care of our boy, and I feel like she needs to be able to see some things.
Yeah, sounds like she deserves the break, or did not break. She deserves the world.
Definitely.
I can't wait to meet her. She sounds like an awesome lady.
She is.
And especially someone so caring like that. I'm glad she'll be in Lubbock. Well, let's see. I mean, we can talk a little bit more about the housing that you talked about, maybe wanting to design a house like you did, or making adjustments to a current house. I mean, with the short term, so I guess, when are you moving? You said that this is an exploratory trip. What's the timeline for moving?
So the paperwork today that I filled out says that I'm actually starting in a month's time.
Oh, wow.
Exactly 4 weeks from today.
Okay.
Excuse me. So I think I'm making another trip in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And hopefully some more things will be settled by then, and then we're going to make the move in about 4 weeks.
Okay. And is that what time Nancy and Nick are going to be moving over? I'm just wondering, sort of like, if another exploratory trip in 2 weeks, and then the move in 4 weeks, what's your situation in Louisiana now? Like, are you looking to kind of wrap things up there, leave a house? You know, can you tell me a little bit about the sort of family support that you have?
Yeah, so, no, my family is actually on the other side of the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so, most of my family, it's very rare that we get to see them or anything.
Okay.
Nancy has a sister and a mom in Louisiana, actually in North Louisiana. But we don't plan on keeping the house. We are, like you said, trying to wrap everything up, and kind of that phase in our life is done. We're proud of it, but yeah, we're not really leaving much behind. Her father passed away 12 years ago or so, yeah.
Okay. Father passed away. Okay. And then, can you tell me a little bit about sort of like, you said that she's the sole caregiver there. I mean, what sort of, she's just 100%, do you have any help at all there, or is it?
No, she's taken it upon herself. That is something I worry about.
Mm-hmm.
As far as her stress levels, we had a little bit of a scare a couple of years back where she spent a few days in the hospital for a heart condition, is what they said. They said it seems to be derived from stress, and I would think that they're pretty right with what I see her going through and having to deal with. I don't know what we can afford as far as giving her a little assistance.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's willing to let someone else take care of our son, because she's so hands-on with him and knows him so well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. And her father passed away from a heart condition himself, so I mean, it's definitely something that runs through my mind all the time, and
Yeah.
I literally have no idea what I would do or what Nick would do if anything happened to her.
Well, I think you're right to, it seems like there are some things to worry about there. I mean, I'm happy to help put together sort of a worst case scenario plan, because especially with son with special needs, you know, having a plan in place, not only for him, but for you and your wife. I think, you know, I don't like to make other people worry. What I like to do is be the person who has to deal with the worst case scenarios and plan ahead for those, and that's what my role is, to kind of go to the worst place scenario and help plan for those. So I mean, I'm really happy to. I'd love to help be a part of creating that plan for you, for both Nick and for you and your wife. I mean, so how much do you worry about her? I mean, do you think?
I mean, she's been really good and healthy since then.
Okay.
Which is why I do believe it was a stress level thing, and I've tried to do little things around the house to take a little bit of that off, mostly just not get in her way.
Yeah.
But she's been healthy. It's just something I worry about because of her dad's condition, and I wouldn't say I'm a worrier, but I think about all the things that she doesn't have to think about because she has to think about Nick almost 100% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, stress really does affect, it's not just a mental thing, it's definitely a physical thing, and it really does affect the whole family. So I'm glad that you can support her in that, and hopefully I can find ways to help support both of you in that, because that does sound like a kind of a stressful situation, and especially moving to Lubbock. I know there's any kind of move can be stressful. Like I'm also a transplant to Lubbock, and my move was a lot simpler, but I just don't think it's ever easy. So I think getting you connected with some resources here. Are you planning on becoming a member of a church here? Is that something that's important to you?
Yeah, that's very important to us. I'd have to just kind of go hunting around with my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'd love recommendations if that's something that you know about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to just get connected to with you there. I mean, what's just nice about Lubbock is that people do have such a strong communities here. So
I have noticed that.
I'm really glad that you're going to be a part of that you're. I'm really hope I can help you integrate you into the communities here in Lubbock. Whether it's through work or whichever, because that transition can be tough.
I would really appreciate that.
Yeah, my pleasure. So let's see. We'll look at your health care a little bit and look at some of the options that you have there. And then, retirement and travel. You mentioned that LSU is a really important part to you and Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself giving back to LSU at any point? Is that something that you're currently doing, or?
I'm not currently. That's definitely something I think about.
Okay.
Nancy and I haven't discussed it so much, the donation thing.
Mm-hmm.
We've discussed going back to games.
Can't beat those. I mean, that's...
We can't. Those home games, we miss them. I mean, that's probably where we fell in love, honestly. So I definitely want to make it back to those. And I do want to donate because, honestly, LSU will be the only people that can carry my name forward unless I were to start a business or something, which I'm perfectly happy with my job. So I think I want to look into how I can donate, maybe not to sound conceited, get my name on a building or something down there, because with Nick's situation, I mean, he's the end of the line. So I still think about what I'm leaving behind in this world, and LSU meant so much to me that I do want to donate to him, but it's something I'd have to think about and discuss with Nancy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just integrate that into your long-term goals when we discuss those a little further with your wife.
That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to hear too what she thinks about this plan you have for her traveling.
Yeah, hopefully she goes with it. We might need a caregiver for travel, because I don't see her leaving Nick anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't want her to be worrying about Nick the entire time that we're traveling. So
yeah. Well, there's a lot to think about. So I'm really glad you came here, and I'm really glad to meet you, and that we can work together as a team to discuss both your housing and your retirement. And I'm really happy to help you work with these short-term goals, in your 2 weeks, 4 week kind of timeline there. And then maybe once you guys get settled, maybe in 6 weeks out, we can set a meeting to bring everybody together and kind of talk about sort of the meat and the goals and things like that you have as a family.
Okay, no, that sounds great, actually.
Great. I'm glad that we can be on the same page there. Well, it's so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
We'll see you again soon.
All right.